Next job is a big one, not one I'm particularly looking forward to, because since we picked this up the LPG hasn't worked properly. Now it's not working at all. Having surveyed the fuel system, you've got about 4 LPG tanks. I'm not sure how they're linked up. One of them won't release gas. I don't know if that's mechanical or electrical. There don't seem to be any filters for the LPG before it goes into the vaporizer, reducer. Solenoid, the lock-off valve might be what's not working, so it's not energising and not letting gas through to the vaporizer. Air filter needs to be replaced because that's compromising the mixer, which is I need to check it all out. So I need to take out the vaporizer, dismantle that, see if it's fixable. If it's not, I'm going to have to replace it. It's a pain and expensive. But at the end of it, we should have a fully working dual fuel system. If you break the LPG system up into 2 stages, then you've got the liquid stage, which is tank to lock off, and then you've got the vaporized stage, where the engine coolant, which is hot, comes in here and vaporizes the gas, which enters on this side and travels through this big ass pipe into the mixer, which would normally have an air filter on it, and then that gets sucked into the carburetor. Both of these units are originally by Nolff's Carburetors Incorporated, which made copies of one of the other major LPG manufacturers when their patents expired. And they've got similar naming conventions, but not the same. But these aren't made anymore. Well, not around here anyway. In America, I think you can get hold of them because they were then purchased by Woodward, which then became Streamline, and they're just reliable and they work, but they do need servicing. So I'm going to start by taking off these screws around the outside first. So with the top cover off, you can see the membrane there, which looks fine. So there are no splits or anything in that, which is good. There is some dirt around here though, which matches up with the valve that lets through the vaporized gas. Under that cover, here's the second membrane, which just comes off, and that also, thankfully, looks in quite good condition. The silicone isn't degraded much, if at all, so I think that's still good to be used. Next, I'm going to take off that cover. And this is the section where we see that there are some issues. The membrane around the edge here is rather crispy, and you can see it's not doing its job properly because you've got ingress of moisture here, which has got deposits there as well. And when we take this off, we've got a significant amount of wax. This is the section where the coolant comes in, circulates around here and warms up the chamber where the gas vaporizes. I guess do what I can with this for now, see if I can clean it up and reinstate it. Now I need to separate these 2 chambers, and that's done by taking off these 2 screws. And what you want to be careful of is this, which comes out of there. That's a spacer for this membrane, so make sure that's in the right place. They separate quite nicely, those 2 screws. You just peel it off, and then you've got another membrane here which actually is in slightly better condition than that one, but I am seeing coloration in there which matches up with that, which is probably going to be waxy deposits, because I still haven't found any filters on this LPG system for the fuel, which is bad. Jesus, what is that? That is crusty. Well, it looks like it was foam of some kind, and that is totally cooked and crumbling apart. I mean, it's useless in its current form. And you've got liquid gas comes in here and it vaporizes as it travels through this chamber, comes into this area, and it looks, I mean, from the dirt, this really isn't doing anything and hasn't done for some time. It's got so hot that it's disintegrated.
It wasn't blocking the way though. Well, I'm going to clean up all of these bits and then we will put it back together, because there's no major problems here. Membranes are passable. So I guess next we'll be checking the mixer. So having cleaned the vaporizer, this is the tube that delivers said vapor. That's pretty nasty. So I think I'm going to clean this out as well. And there were deposits of this inside the carburetor, which I gave a good clean out the other day. This waxy stuff that was in here, the only way I could get it off was to pour boiling water on it, which softened it a little bit, but not that much. And I've managed to get most of it off, but I just can't be bothered anymore. I'm sure there's another way of doing it. I could probably like set fire to it or something, but anyway, let's have a look at this. I just noticed something. I couldn't remember the name of the company earlier that originally made these. IMPCO. So these two adapters are both IMPCO made, and then you've got a rip-off IMPCO on the top there, so that's quite amusing. Well, after giving up or deciding it was impossible or so much hassle to get a repair kit for this, I unearthed, and I'll put the link in the description, I'm going to do a blog post about it as well probably, that as I mentioned, Nolff basically replicated IMPCO's ideas, and this is a direct copy of the Model E IMPCO regulator / vaporizer / converter. Like really they are pretty much identical. So the repair kit works on this. I found the repair kit through Tinley Tech, tinleytech.co.uk, LPG kits and equipment. I was searching for the repair kits, I found their site, and fortunately I found their site before 3 PM yesterday, which means I got next day delivery, and it was here before midday, which is pretty amazing, because when you're trying to fix your dual fuel system, it can make it a somewhat urgent task, should we say. So I got the best part of it all. I didn't just get the repair kit for the converter, I also got, because this is the joke, right? The air filter / air cleaner, which I think I've already said, I ordered the wrong one twice. I've got this big ass one from Fran, which is the one, you know, because all these sites where you have to put in your registration or VIN, vehicle identification number, and then they search for the correct parts based on the database. But even if you go into somewhere like Euro Car Parts, which, don't get me wrong, like if you want to get something pretty standard like a carb cleaner or some oil, then very convenient. They have a lot of stock, and you know, if you know what you want, ask for it and they get it for you. This kind of thing, however, they have no idea. As soon as you say, have you got X for Y, they say, well, could you tell us the registration? And it's like computer says no stuff, which is very frustrating. So you can't just go in with one of these, which are completely unmarked on any side, and say, oh yeah, can you give me one of these? Because they're like, what's the registration of the car it came from? And I have to say, well, that won't help you because this is an integral part of my LPG system. And that's what I've been struggling with for so long. I didn't realise the air filter was an integral part of the mixer. I mean, to me, it was just an air filter. You get air filters in all sorts of vehicles. So I just thought it was a I don't know, anyway. Got it. And this as well. And also I've been checking out the vacuum lines, because that engine bay is quite a complicated thing, really, that I spent so long looking at it, thinking, what's that? Anyway, so nicely packaged. IMPCO repair kit and installation instructions. Because I messaged another LPG shop in the UK that will remain unnamed, and they just said, no, sorry, we don't stock Nolff's stuff. To be fair, I don't know if Tinley Tech would have known if I'd said I've got a Nolff NE series converter, whether they'd have said, oh yes, same as the IMPCO one, or not. But either way, I have all of the necessary parts. This is the funny bit. Look at that. That's that thing. What's the bet? This has never been changed. So I'm going to reassemble this now. The instructions are all online because they don't provide printed instructions anymore. So you can just download it. I've got the PDF on my phone and just reassemble it as per the instructions. And I will see you back on the inside.